Hello, John Hively here. So today we're going to take a look at how genocide and ethnic cleansing are income redistribution scams. So today we're going to look at a report, and I'm going to read over here. And this is like today, May 5th. It says here from CNN, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said of the population of Gaza will be displaced to the south after a security cabinet approved an expanded military operation in the enclave that a minister described as a plan to conquer the territory. The vote on Sunday came hours after the military said it would mobilize tens of thousands of reservists, strengthening its capacity to operate in the besieged Palestinian territory. One thing will be clear, there will be no in and out, Netanyahu said on a Monday video message posted on X. We'll call up reserves to come, hold territory. We're not going to enter and then exit the area, only to carry out raids afterwards. And that's not the plan. The intention is the opposite. There will be a movement of the population to protect them, Netanyahu said of the intensified operation. A senior Israeli security official earlier said the operation in Gaza, called Gideon's Chariots, was unanimously approved by the security cabinet with the aim of subduing Hamas and securing the release of all hostages. The plan would be implemented after U.S. President Donald Trump's visit to the Middle East next week to provide a window of opportunity for a hostage deal, the official added. So they're going to take the Palestinians out. It's as simple as that. Right now, starvation is a tool to provide for ethnic cleansing. But let's get something clear about all of this. Your tax dollars, what's going on in Palestine, is called the shock doctrine. And here's a book on it by Naomi Klein, in which she describes how the big boys try to pulverize a population, then take over their territory, and then rebuild it. So what's going on in Israel, I recommended that book, by the way. What's going on in Israel is that your U.S. tax dollars are going to implement Israel's policy of ethnic cleansing. So it will be totally destroyed and all Palestinians removed. And then your tax dollars will be used to rebuild it and turn it into Amare Gaza, like a big area. And Naomi Klein provides examples of how that happened. That book came out like 10, 15 years ago, it seems like. But she provides some good examples. So let's take a look at what's going on right now in Gaza. So this is a photo of Gaza City before the war. And this is a picture of Gaza City currently. This was taken about 15 hours ago. The idea is to turn it into rubble, and somebody's going to have to clean up the mess. U.S. contractors and Israeli contractors on the U.S. dime, on the U.S. taxpayer money, will be the ones to clean it up. And of course, then they're going to build it up to something that looks just like it used to look, and it'll be U.S. tax dollars doing that. So that's what's going on with Gaza. Now look, the question then becomes, is Israel actually a state? Is it really a nation? And Tucker Carlson answered that question, or a guest on Tucker Carlson's show answered that question. So this is from the Jimmy Dore show, and he notes something that Tucker Carlson said, and that Tucker Carlson's guest, Mark Walsh, said. So let's take a listen. Does Israel really exist?
This was surprising to me. Tucker and Matt Walsh works for the Daily Wire. We all know Daily Wire's in the tank for Zionism and Israel and the ethnic cleansing. That's big. People like to challenge you when you say genocide, but they don't challenge an ethnic cleansing because that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to get rid of the Palestinians out of Gaza and the West Bank. That's their plan. That's called an ethnic cleansing.
You don't have to succeed at genocide for it to be called genocide, by the way.
That's right.
That's right. Attempt it.
Right. So here's what they had to say on Tucker Carlson or do you say Carlson? I say Carlson with a Z. Tucker Carlson about Israel. Hold on to your. Here we go.
Israel cannot exist without being propped up by the United States.
You think so?
Its nuclear program came from the United States. Its weapons come from the United States. Its economy is supported by the United States. I'm not attacking Israel. I'm just saying, in point of fact, I think that's true. And I mean, Israel thinks it's true, or they wouldn't have armies of lobbyists and influencers in the United States. Bibi wouldn't have shown up twice in the past 3 months.
Good point. Great point. You think that's true? At first, I was like, "Oh, is Matt Walsh going to try to push back on this obvious point?" But guess what? The answer just may surprise you, or will it?
Any country, if there is any country out there that fundamentally cannot exist without being subsidized by American taxpayers, then not only should that country not exist, but that country already does not exist. It's not really.
That's interesting.
It's not really a country,
Right? No, it's...
So there you have it. Is Israel a money laundering scam for the wealthy of the United States, or is it a nation? Now there's a debate, because what really is going to happen is, like I said, somebody, the American taxpayer, is largely paying for the destruction of Gaza and the removal of those people. And we're gonna be paying, us taxpayers are gonna be paying for the building up of Gaza again. So let me get the famous whiteboard out and we'll do a visual on this. I'm high tech, and you better be okay with that, because that's the most high tech I'm gonna get. I'm just a low tech guy. So look. So here it is. So the U.S. gives Israel money, the U.S. taxpayers. Then the U.S. and then the Israelis spend it on U.S. military goods. 70% of their military arsenal is provided by the United States. The United States gives these guys, the Israelis, billions of dollars per year. And then U.S. military stocks with the Israeli purchase with U.S. tax dollars, military stocks, U.S. military stocks rise in value. And they also provide dividends. Well, dividends are just payments given out to shareholders. So if you own 100,000 shares of some company like Lockheed Martin, which gives out nearly a 3% dividend, if Lockheed Martin is, I think it's a little under $200 now, but say it's $300 and it gives a 3% dividend, I think it's a little under 3% right now, then you're looking at about $9 a share per year that it hands out to its wealthy shareholders. So $9 per share, say 100,000 shares you own, that's about $900,000 a year you get for Israel to kill Palestinians and to wipe them off the face of Gaza. And that's what you're paying for. So, and then of course those stocks rise up in value. So if you bought Lockheed Martin at $200 and Israel's getting a ton of money to do what it does, well then what you have is, say Lockheed Martin goes up to $300, you also sell it $300 per share, and say you have 100,000 shares, you then, $300 minus $200 equals $100 per share. Say that's $100 per share. Say I buy $100,000. That's like $10 million or more. Could be $100 million. You do the math. Anyway, so that's called, what's going on there is an ethnic cleansing. It's called the shock doctrine. It's been going on for about 70 years. A lot of people think Israel deserves us to be a state, but does it really deserve to be what did I call it? A money laundering scam, because that's what it is, from U.S. taxpayers to the wealthy. So anyway, have a good one. Let me know what you guys think. And also we're going to, Israel is an income redistribution scam. And as Tucker and Matt Walsh say, question, is it really a nation? Is it something other than a money laundering scam? So we're going to go into a lot more of this type of stuff. So please subscribe, like, and share. You'd be doing me a great favor, but you'd also be spreading the word of what's really going on. So I have a battle plan to stop the oligarchs who are in charge of everything. I'm developing it. It should be ready by next summer, and I will unveil it then. Anyway, have a good one. Oh, the sun's out. I kind of didn't really want to do this, but the sun's out. So here we go. Have a good one. Thank you.